September 1975. Waldport, Oregon. Population 2,000. Posters began to appear on telephones around this small, quiet town. They read UFOs, why they are here, who they came for, when will they leave. Not a discussion of UFO sightings or phenomena. Two individuals say they were sent from the level above heaven and they are about to literally return to the next evolutionary level in a spaceship within months. The two will discuss how the transition from human level to the next level is accomplished and when this may be done. This is not a religious or philosophical organization recruiting members. However, the information has already prompted many individuals to devote their total energy to the transitional process. If you've ever entertained the idea that there may be a real physical level beyond Earth's confines, you will want to attend this meeting. That night, in that community center, two people took the stage. They talked for 2 hours, and when it was over 20 people made the decision to walk away from their lives, their jobs, their homes, and their families. And that night, they all became students.
Welcome, stranger.
Secret to society.
Strangers. Society.
Welcome to the secret society.
Strangers?
I'm Lee. That's Jen. That's Josh. This is the Secret Society of Strangers. And this is Heaven's Gate Part 2, The Classroom.
What it do? Not trying to learn.
I was to say, I confess, I don't think I would have read all of that on a telephone pole.
No.
and like I said, it's worded very like almost like cryptically, like they're trying to say something, but they're not trying to say something. Yes. So if you weren't with us last episode, we met Marshall Applewhite in 1972 after he had checked into a hospital room. He met Bonnie Nettles. She was a nurse and a spiritual healer, and together they formed the UFO 2, or Bo and Peep. Cosmic partners with a revolutionary message, not death, resurrection, like traditional Christianity, but physical transformation. No death required, just metamorphosis. All right, so if you haven't listened to part 1, I suggest going back, catching up, and then you'll be able to keep up with the classroom.
Maybe,
yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, no, it's murky a bit.
Yeah, you have a fighting chance then.
Yes. You'll at least know the name.
I thought it was Marshall Applegate.
No, Applewhite. What is it? Applegate.
See, it sounds so familiar, like Applegate. I thought it was Marshall Applegate.
Oh dear.
Well, no, it's not. Content warning. This episode, again, it discusses cult manipulation and suicide. If you are struggling or you need someone to talk to, call 988. And we're going to start this. We actually talked a little bit about it in the first episode, but we're going to start at that meeting in Waldport, Oregon. As I said, it was advertised as a UFO awareness gathering. I said that with quotations for anyone just listening. They've been holding these meetings, like we talked about, up and down the West Coast for a couple months now, and they've convinced a few people here and there to follow them and take on their message. But that night in Waldport was different, because normally the crowds that showed up were your normal, hippie, mystic type.
Yeah, because these people thought they were going to talk about fucking UFOs.
Yep. And they,
I would have been
they
there.
would get a trickle of people. Exactly. And like I picture us as the type of people that probably would have like saw it, been like, you know what? I'm gonna hit up Josh. We'll go see what's going on. If it's whack, we'll go get some drinks or something.
And most of the time it'll probably be whack, and then here we are getting drinks.
Yeah.
And then one
Exactly.
time Lee's
That's
just
my
like, you know
point.
what? This makes sense.
Right.
Like, why'd you cut your hair before this one? I don't know. Why are you wearing those clothes? I don't
Just
know.
trying a new look, man. Just get
Yeah.
off my back.
I might just stay with them for a while.
Nah, dude. We should totally go get
Yes.
drinks.
No, they got drinks at the compound, they
I'm
said.
good on any of that. Unless it's grape Kool-Aid, then you got me.
Oh,
Yeah. Ooh. It was Flavor Aid.
Ooh, sorry. I wouldn't have
The,
joined that. I
to
wouldn't have
be
gotten on that spaceship.
historically correct.
On
All
principle
right. Well,
alone.
this meeting was different because around 150 people showed up that night. The numbers kind of vary between 150 and 200, but let's say approximately 150.
It was actually probably 15.
And right. No, there was a large crowd here because more than 15 people left that night. So it was interesting though, because this crowd wasn't that normal mix that we were just talking about. This was made up of like professionals and students. So take Frank LaFord. He was a 58-year-old farmer and a lumber mill worker. Just randomly, I guess, was like, hey, you know what? I'm tired of being a lumber worker. I'm gonna go work. I'm gonna go check out what UFOs are
I
about.
thought you were gonna tell me that
know.
like he was like a secret astrophysicist in his spare time. Like he
No.
goes to his barn, he's got all these complex equations.
There are people that are like super duper smart though. There's one kid, David Van Sinderden, and he is a theater student from Portland. There's also a 42-year-old mother, Joyce Scala. She's a mother of 4. So it's like a really weird mix
Yeah.
of like professional people, domestic people, children, basically, like college kids. Yeah, so not their normal crowd that they were used to
Right.
talking to. And I think what may have changed things that night a little bit is that for the longest time, or for all these meetings, it had been Applewhite doing the talking. So Herf would get up there and basically preach.
But didn't she like pretty much tell him what to say because of her visions
Yeah.
or whatever?
So she is the spiritual guide and he is the mouthpiece.
So he's just the puppet.
And he's a very good speaker. He's calm, he's evenly toned. He tends to speak actually really slow, which I think just kind of lulls you into this like droning listening state. But that night she spoke. And now when Bonnie spoke, she had a completely different tone. She had this like motherly, maternal, like caring, nurturing, understanding way of speaking hers, where like Applewhite would talk at you. She was very much like talking to you.
Ooh.
So she would say things like, quote, "You're here because you know something is missing. You felt it your whole life. That restlessness, that knowing that you don't belong here." And she made it sound reasonable and logical to so many of these people.
Okay.
Whereas like, I think Applewhite, again, I said, is more like that. I think he resonated with people that came from church backgrounds that were used to listening to preachers and were already indoctrined in like the heavenly doctrine, or whatever you want to call it.
He's at least susceptible to that type.
Yeah, they've already understand that structure and are comfortable there. And then she spoke that night to a much bigger crowd, and she gave a much more like nurturing, hugging, bringing you in because we know you're part of us kind of feel.
Okay.
But before we even get into what they were saying that night, I want to take a look at who left, because like we said, this is a crazy group of individuals. None of these people knew each other for the most part when they met at that night. I'm going to go through a few that joined that night, but also a few that kind of joined around that time and a little bit later, just to get a full picture of like who the members are, so we don't have to jump back and forth as we go forward. All right, so first one up, which is, I don't even know the words to say it right off the bat. So his name is John Craig. He's a respected Republican politician. He's a ranch owner, and he almost won a seat in the Colorado House race in 1970. He owned a 200-acre ranch where he owned quarter horses and cattle.
I don't know what a quarter horse is.
I know
Yeah.
they're expensive.
Yeah.
I'm just picturing like
And
miniature horses out
No.
there.
it's
Just a
quarter of
quarter of a horse. Just like a miniature mini Shetland.
it's just a half of a horse, like the last half of a horse standing
Just
in a
the head.
field.
Pretty much.
So even with all that, he was also an extra in the movie Butch Cassidy and the
Oh.
Sundance Kid. So like this guy
Probably
has
where his love for
got
quarter
what?
horses started.
Could have been.
Yeah. He has what you would consider the American dream.
Yeah.
Like he's
I'd
got
like to
it
have a
all.
ranch.
Even so much that he's got Hollywood credits on IMDb.
All right.
So I
Nothing but
wonder if
poo-poo.
he had like on his ranch had like an experience, an encounter or something.
It's a good question. Nothing on like his little profile says anything
Of
like
course
that.
it
Most of it
wouldn't.
just says, I know. Most of it just says that all that what I just said. And then by 1975, he was 52 and he was kind of over it all and looking for more. He was married. He wrote a note to his wife, explained that he needed to find his true calling. He signed over a power of attorney, withdrew his life savings, and drove
What
away
the fuck?
in a
Whoa.
Volkswagen.
Not the
dipped out.
VW.
You know, I just think like that. To turn your back on
Was this after
Everything.
like
one meeting?
ranch, and that's after. So I don't know how much like it's one like this. Yes, Waldport pulled a bunch of people after one meeting. When you listen to them speak later on, though, it sounds like people are popping up at different meetings.
Mm.
And like they're recognizing the same people like in a few
Yeah.
meetings and then they're joining. So I don't know information about if these people had seen them prior to this night, but this night was the night that had the biggest turnout and biggest collection of innocent souls.
Okay.
So there was Susan Noel. She was a registered nurse. She had a good job. She had an apartment and by all measures was a successful young woman.
Heck yeah, Susan.
After the Waldport meeting, she went back to her apartment and stared at the walls for hours.
Her mind
and
was
the
just
next morning,
blown.
yep. The next morning, she called into work. She called into work the day after that. And the day after that, and about after a week of calling into work, she just stopped calling and was
Oh,
gone.
what the fuck?
Joyce Scala, I mentioned earlier, she was a suburban mother with 4 children 8, 12, 14, and 16. Talk about needing your mom
Right.
times. She left a note on the table for each one of her kids, kissed them in their sleep, and said goodbye and drove away. And that was it. She became one of the members of the class. So what is heartbreaking about a lot of these people like Joyce is that they, in their minds at the time, thought that this was a temporary process. And when they were done with this process, they would be returning to their families or reuniting with their families on a higher
What?
level.
But they
So
were
there was
not.
no, again, there's still no talk of like these people going off into the sunset and killing themselves. It's not part of the
But
process.
not even. Okay, so I didn't know that. So how long did they think they were going to be gone?
There's no set
A
time.
quick
And we'll talk
weekend
about this a
cult
little
trip,
bit
no big
later.
deal.
I know. That's why I'm
Yeah.
like,
When-
okay.
When we get into more like the tactics, we'll get into the fact like that's a very normal question to ask, Jen, and that's something that like was always
But that
skirted.
makes more sense now.
Like-
why, like especially her, maybe the ranch owner could.
Yeah, because they thought they were
It's
gonna
not permanent.
like level up and
No.
be better than they were and somehow still have
Okay.
their families.
That's not how it works.
Nope, not at all. There was a man named Gary Jordan St. Louis. He was a computer programmer.
I feel like that's the type of name that like you say the whole name or you don't say it at all.
Yeah, I don't know. I was gonna try to short that. You can't.
And I feel like he will let you know that you have to say the whole thing.
Maybe before he was in Heaven's Gate, he would have let us know. He had a good job. He worked at Denver's airport, like I said, a computer programmer, and he basically left a videotape for his girlfriend.
Of course, he
saying,
left a
quote,
videotape.
Yeah.
computer programmer. It's like 1970 something. This is like the time. He left a note or left a tape saying, "I want everybody to know that I have chosen to leave, but here's the psychological grip with this cult is that he left Heaven's Gate He left in 1989, and by 1991 he returned.
Oh.
When he returned, he brought his sister, or his
No.
half sister.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so like almost like a recruiting break. Like he left and like picked up another member. And we'll talk about that later on too. We'll go through it. There are so many of these people who left and came back. I didn't realize that.
Like, what'd they
until
leave
not
for?
that
Yeah, I wonder what.
they left to go because like family was looking for them, or they thought like maybe, okay, I've had enough of this, I want to go live, back in the regular world, and they came right
Huh.
back.
Okay.
Realized they were like, yeah, so it's not as cool out here on the outside as it is in this cult.
Yeah,
Although I think it's like we talked about in the last episode, though, that I feel like you've got people that are just looking for an escape from that responsibility of life, the daily just you have to do
I
this,
think
this,
Going
this,
through
and
it.
this. You have to raise your family. Maybe the mother was sacrificing herself, especially during those days.
Yeah.
She didn't have, she would be expected maybe to, be the happy homemaker. I don't know. Maybe she had a job, but but I don't know. And then
right.
maybe the computer programmer, maybe it was just, demands too much. Just
I think also, and I think this is attributed to like a lot of the cults, because the 70s are full of cults. They're also full of serial killers. They're full of like just little organizations like rebellion
Oh, the
groups.
70s was wild.
yeah.
I think a lot of it though is that the beginning of the cracks that we're living through now starting to show. The fact that people are like, so you're telling me I'm just gonna work for 40 hours a week until I die, and then that like. And in the 70s, it's when stuff started getting cool, like TV color, and like music started getting better. Like you'd want to be doing more shit than just toiling in an office to be a cog in the system. So I think like all these little lights were shining, and people were like, especially young people, they were like, I don't want to
do this forever.
Why am I see my dad go to work every day in a suit, and like he looks miserable.
Right.
Like I could go be a rock star, or I can be in a cult,
or I could be a rock star in a cult.
Yeah.
Like Jared Leto.
Yep, see?
I really want to talk about it.
Yeah, because his once a year island thing. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a fucking cult leader.
That
If there ever was
motherfucker's a
one.
cult leader.
But Gary was quoted when he came back as saying, I don't belong in the human world.
Oh, shit.
Like,
That's like the cult
you
equivalent
don't
of the
be
grass
cool.
isn't greener.
yeah,
I don't
pretty
belong
much.
in the human world, man.
It's so much nicer on my spaceship.
Well, yeah, no shit. You're in a spaceship in fucking space. It's beautiful.
Yeah,
We're
but
in
they're
space.
not.
They're in camping sites and mansions and shit. Either way, we had another member named Thomas Nichols, who was the brother of the Star Trek star Nicole Nichols. I don't know if I said her name right.
I would have said nipples,
but she was
and I would have fucked it all up.
On Star Trek, and Star Trek becomes huge to this.
Oh,
point.
yeah.
Like Star Trek is like a pamphlet to how do these people start to live their
But
lives.
that's fiction.
Not to them.
Well, I know, but it is.
I don't know, man. I get beamed up every day.
You got beamed up. Maybe that's what it is. The UFO. You've seen so many UFOs that the aliens have just deleted your memory, and you're just like, I'll never see one. You got Men in Black.
Just zapped. Yep. All right, we'll just blew through the rest of these real quick. There was a woman named LaDonna, and she was a violinist and a computer programmer from Colorado. She joined a little bit later in 1994, which was only 3 years before the end. So I think when she joined, there was way more of an idea of what was going to be happening.
Yeah.
So that's a little bit of a standout joining member. One more member I need to bring up because he's going to come up again, and he is really like the member. Like he is the cult's number
so
one
he's the
member.
guy.
His name is Stephen Terry McCarter. They called him the Born Leader, and he was like the most intense member. Like, and not even so much for like intense for like remembering the doctrine or like what, like literally just for like wanting to be seen as the perfect one all the time. Like he wanted to be the example. Like if there was like,
Oh,
something to be done, he was
we call those
running
the
to show
pick-me's now,
people.
right?
Yeah, the
Yeah,
tryhards.
exactly.
Yep.
But like he was like smiling ear to ear. I have some
What was
video
he
of him
dear.
like?
later on. We'll see. He's
Oh,
like overly happy. He's one that creeps me out more than the rest.
Okay.
Not to speak poorly of the dead, but he was a little intense. Yeah, so that was just a kind of an overview of the members. I'm sure we'll go through a few more later on. We'll get back into what happened now after that meeting because now it's a little bit of a snowball and things start to happen fast. So they're moving across the southwest. Right now they're still like camping out, like RV sites, campsites. They're staying for a couple nights. Some places they're staying until the weather permits, and then they're just moving on. They have made it a point though now to like scatter their following, so they're not all staying together. Like I said, this is a very weird group where like people are going back to their homes at this point, meeting up with them again when they come back around, and like are camping with them, and then staying with them, and then coming back, and then some people are like satellite groups off in different places. So it's very, I say he, but they at this point, it's very loosely organized. Like there's not a lot of full structure, regiment. It's more still hanging out, talking about what could possibly be at the next level and planning that these two people are going to be taking you out.
all right.
Yeah, so it's not like that, like Charles Manson, like just helter skelter, chaos, or like a Jim Jones where like he's like constantly preaching in the ear that like they're gonna come for us, we got to be ready. Like this is still very much like a hippie group.
Yeah.
It seems like they're kind of just
Roaming around.
roaming. They took on this name of students, and they kind of feel like they're just like learning how to be better and
Man,
very
just
new age.
learning from the universe. You can too if you just shut up and listen.
But as the group got bigger and as people started to leave and go, people were looking for the group constantly. Family members, other, friends of whatever. So they were they weren't built to be secretive yet. So like you could just walk up on the group at a campsite and be like, "Hey, Steven, like you should come home now."
Who is Steven?
And, like-
I'm Glip Glorp. That's my new name.
I can tell you thought about that a long time. That
Nope.
name.
Coyote or something like that.
Glip Glorp.
Glip Glorp. And this is when they start to kind of tighten their reins and become more methodical, and it becomes more of like a corporate structure at
So
this
So
I'm-
this is now a pyramid scheme.
Yeah, so I'm wondering if money started to become an issue. Just curious.
So yeah, so money for them was somewhat of an issue, but they were, unlike a lot of other cults, very able to sustain themselves after this period. So this period was a little bit hard because they were working odd jobs, and again, they're mingling with the public. People are asking questions. So it's becoming harder and harder to like keep their narrative without outside input.
Right.
But why don't they want more the merrier?
Because it's not so much people wanting to join, it's people like pushing back. So I should mention at this point, sometimes like they're getting run out of their towns that they're in because they are doing a little bit of like canvassing, like light canvassing,
Oh yeah.
where they are like meeting people and saying you should come to this meeting.
Gotcha. Very
And like so like
culty, right.
they're out
Yeah.
there.
and
Yeah.
It's
and
just not a
people are
good look for your
recognizing-
town. So you're just like,
Right,
shoot.
yeah.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Alright.
So like they got all the signs at this point from the outside, and people are starting to pick up on it. Like I said, now they start to get more organized, and they start like with classic cult techniques and like classic isolation. So at this point now they're becoming more isolated. Like when they go to a town, they are no longer like mingling and canvassing. They're kind of staying there for as long as they can and then moving on. It's about every 6 months at this point they can keep
Oh.
moving.
I thought they would be like there for like a couple of weeks and then bounce, but 6 months, that's kind of a long
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
I think that's also a testament to our timeline and our current speed of
Oh,
things.
that's fair.
In the 70s, 6 months people are busy and there's not like constant cell phone communication, or like you go a couple weeks, month without talking to people you know, and
True.
easily disappear in a town you weren't like known in for like 6 months, and then you're there for 6 months. And people are like, "Hey, Phil,"
Right.
like, oh, shit, gotta
Damn
move.
it.
But at this point, still no tyrannical force. There's no like abuse happening within the cult. There's no like threats to stay or manipulation to keep people in. It's purely like we just need to isolate ourselves and insulate ourselves from the outside so they're not contaminating us on the inside.
So now we're
Oh.
building the echo chamber.
Yep.
Correct.
Oh
Exactly.
Lord.
It's not us, it's you.
Okay.
Yep. And exactly. So at this point, again, they're building, they're becoming known. They've been going, up and down the West Coast, sucking in people. They got an influx of members now. And now the nation's starting to pay attention. So there was like even a Walter Cronkite special report about all the people going missing in the small town of Waldport. And like other, smaller news outlets were saying things, especially like the local news outlets were really talking about the by name Marshall Applewhite, and like, so he particularly was becoming very paranoid at this point.
Oh yeah, because now people are starting to know him.
And they did a good job. They were able, like, so with this attention, numbers did dwindle, people left and stayed gone, but they did a good job of spinning that into like a positive for the group. So anyone who left at this point was just deemed as not ready for the next level above you.
Okay.
Not talked about in a bad way, not, they're able to come back if they wanted to, but right now they're just not ready. So if you're with us still, like, congratulations, you're better than them and you're ready.
Or your mom just didn't come pull you out by your ear in front of all your new friends.
Exactly. So it's funny you say that, because right around this time, a mother named Nancy Brown organized the first support group for Heaven Gate parents.
Oh, okay.
So this was a group that would go out of their way to like follow this moving caravan of cult members around and like make a scene. Basically, is all they were able to do, is like notify law enforcement that they were coming to town, stand outside their camp and be like, don't follow these people, or whatever they could do. So again, like, what do you like? People are voluntarily leaving. They're not hurting themselves. They're not doing anything illegal. Can't have a police officer just drag your son out of a camp. And to your point about money, at this point, they are living off of a trust fund of one of their members, which is reportedly around, it changes a little bit, but from $300,000 to $500,000 at the time.
But you got a bunch of people.
Yeah.
They got a bunch of people, but they're resourceful and they're very, very restrictive on their intakes because it's not of the next level to consume.
Yeah.
More than necessary. So
I fear I'm losing Josh and Lee to the cult now.
Just a simple man, all right?
Yeah. Come back. I got 2 hands for 2 ears to pull out this cult.
I want ready to stay. He's actually making sense.
Yeah, that's what I'm. Okay.
No, but this little amount of money allowed them to start renting out houses and isolating themselves. They didn't have to work as much. They were able to just literally move into a house. They didn't have to know the neighbors. They didn't have to know the people in the town they worked with. And they were just in their shit. So this is the time when, like, now it really starts to build. And like their, I would say, procedure is what they called it, but their like patterns and the things they started doing are like ramped up to 100 at this point. You got 48 members moving into a single home, right? Only a select few of those members are even allowed to go outside.
Oh.
Everybody else has to stay
Like,
inside.
Outside, like go get the mail. Yeah, like you have to be a certain member with a certain recognition to go outside. On top of that, they don't want to be seen. They don't want people to ever know how many people are in the house, and they also don't want people like asking questions and walking up to different people. If you can control the amount of people that go out, you can control your narrative, because you say these 3 people are only.
You're the only one influencing them at that point.
Yeah, you don't have any wild.
Remember, we've already built the echo chamber. We are only our own crazy bouncing back and
Nobody
forth.
can go rogue.
And again, and because Jen, you're right on it, because now again, this is that echo chamber, and they're stepping it up even more. So now they're going to start changing terminology to detach you even further from the outside world. So like, this is not a group of people, this is not a cult, you don't live in a family, you live in crews like you would on a spaceship.
Oh god.
All
See,
right.
here comes the Star Trek influence. I told you.
Yeah.
Exactly. This is 100% Star Trek influence.
So this is the red group. This is yellow. This is engineering.
Close. You have lab
No.
crews. You have craft crews, which are like maintenance crews. Lab crews are cooking crews. You have check crews, which are like physiological monitoring. And then you have other crew members that perform metrics and quotas and do all.
So
kinds of
I
stuff.
wonder if
But everyone is the
I
crew.
bet you the person that is the person that goes and gets the mail. I bet you they're the exploratory crew.
So I'm sure it's something like that. Yeah, like outside world
Yeah.
exploratory crew.
Wow.
You'll see that they love this stuff. This is their cosplay.
I was about to say,
this
are they
is
just
what they're
heavy
having
into
fun
Star
with.
Trek cosplay?
Yes, this group of people doesn't find this weird or taxing or extra. Like, this is
I
fun.
wish
To
they
them.
could fluently
This
speak
is like one big
Klingon.
fun.
and
I think they
shit like
could get me if they did this around like a Ren fair or something.
that. See, there we go.
Yeah, totally. That's the thing. Culture everywhere. So yeah, and now at this point, like, every single aspect of these people's lives was being controlled. And again, not physically, didn't impose it through violence or anything like that.
You
It
could
was
still
just
leave
simple
if you want.
structure. Yep. And it's simple structure. And like, the structure is more and more restraining and more rigid. And it just starts to frame this robotic, unhuman.
It's a
Yeah, 'cause
classic
you're not
abusive
human.
relationship. It's wild.
Yeah. Well, you're detaching these people from their humanity.
Step 1, love
they're
bombing.
refa-
Step 2, isolation. Yeah.
Yep. No, that's exactly it. They're reframing reality as they go, teaching that Earth is a corrupt testing ground and it's run by evil alien
Okay.
forces. And only T and Doe hold the knowledge to graduate to the next level.
Oh, man.
That's important to remember, that there's 40 something people living in this house, but only 2 people have any knowledge of anything beyond their
Right.
crew. So like I said, this is like a beginning of like reprogramming. They love it shit. Like, chores and labor, cooking, laundry, odd jobs are all renamed. Like, laundry room is the fiber lab.
Hey, Bear Lab.
Oh my gosh.
The kitchen is the Nutra lab.
Find me in the fiber
This
lab.
is man, that is like the most corporate thing ever to do. It's like, when you're the janitor and they make you the maintenance engineer. I
Yep,
mean, come
it's-
on.
You guys are on it, because it's the same shit, like corporate family shit. Like, you ever work for a job that's like, we're
Oh,
just
yeah.
one big
Oh
family.
no, this
This
is when
is
I
that-
leave.
If you ever believe
This is that
yeah.
rewriting.
Mm.
You could take a bath in your bath chamber. Like I said, your home is a
Okay,
craft.
Cleopatra.
And most importantly, there is no heaven, only the next level.
That sounds very Star Trek.
Oh, and then all your daily activities and all your chores are revamped, renamed, so you don't even recognize them as the things they were before. So it's harder to draw attachments to it. Like, if you're in the fiber lab doing laundry, you're not thinking about like, oh, my mom made me fold my laundry once in the laundry room. No, because you're in a fiber lab. Like, what's the laundry room?
Doing very important work in the fiber
Although
lab.
I will say, like, doing chores and stuff is always more fun if you have somebody there with you. So I see where the
Oh, yeah.
psychology like helped reinforce some of that. And
You would
I
think,
don't
and
mind, like, if I'm on vacation, I'm somehow like doing a stay vacation at home or something for a week, then somehow I don't mind like, oh, loading the, you know, washing
oh yeah, because
machine
then
or
you got the time
exactly.
and you're
Yeah.
not
So I'm just
rushed.
picturing them. They've given up the like life stresses of the mundane and now they're renaming it this fun fantasy land thing.
Yeah, and it's important to point that out, because this may be like the only place where they're eking out any kind of like joy or fun let's
In the
say.
fiber lab.
In the fiber.
Yeah. Fun in the fiber lab.
Ooh.
Sounds like a Maroon 5 song. Yeah, so that's all well and good. Your names, it's all fun. They started renaming people. So, yep, Glip Glurp. Nope, Josh, you'd be Josh Odie.
Oh,
No,
yeah.
I'm Glip Glorp.
There actually was a Josh
Josh
Odie.
Odie.
Other names like Neodie. And Odie basically was a kind of
So I'm
last
Jen
name for
Odie.
the group.
Jen Odie.
Odie.
You could be Jen Odie or Genodi. Like, it's not exactly your first name. It's kind of whatever you choose, I think, or he gave you. But it's some of them. It represents some of what their first name
Obi-Wan
was.
Genodi.
That'd be my name. That'd be dope. Oh yeah, so Odie is like a group last name, but it's unrecognizable to the outside world. So one more step of like insulating these people and not having them feel like they're part
Stripping
of anything else
identity,
but the
right.
group.
Yeah,
Nope.
because you're nothing, and I'm going to build you up to
Yes.
something.
Yeah, these people did get built up. It's hard to see how, because the next thing I'm going to bring up is something called side by sides.
Not the fun, like.
Nope,
Okay.
nope. This is
'Cause we
done
don't have
with
fun.
members that were assigned to you,
Oh,
and they were called check partners. A lot of times, this was the member that was known to be like the hardest fit for you
Oh,
oh, it's
personally.
your
Like,
accountability buddy.
you
So
know,
Accountability buddy.
everybody's getting a hall
exactly.
monitor Karen.
Pretty
Yep. So
much.
you basically would go through self checklists, and this person, this check partner, would correct any ego driven behavior.
According to them.
Yeah. Hey,
Exactly.
I saw
And according
you
to
smiling
Mark
a bit
Applewhite.
too much in the fiber lab. I need you to cut that shit out.
Yeah, towels are
Yep.
not fun.
A lot of members say this was one of the hardest parts
Yeah, I
of
guess so.
being in the group, is because they would just think that they were doing well, trying so hard, and then instantly just be told like you're doing it all wrong.
Yeah, I don't think anybody likes
You have
that.
too much ego, because it's really easy to get, like, I guess, denounced. I don't know what they call it, but like you could get in trouble for second guessing your teacher,
That's the whole
for
point of learning.
trusting your own
Right.
judgment, having inappropriate
Oh.
curiosity, and these are all punishable offenses. Like, they would, I guess,
I
reassign
was gonna say, what
duties
are
or
these
take away
Yeah,
privileges.
like the
punishments?
yeah.
Again, nothing physical, nothing super like demeaning as a person. It was more of like a, now you're one step further away from reaching the next level. Like, it was all personal accountability. It would all just make you keep feeling worse and worse about yourself, so you would try harder and harder to do what these two were saying.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Again, no
No.
fun. That shit was the most fun they had, the fiber lab, because there was no jewelry, no drugs, no personal possessions. Everything was shared communally. There was no actual friendships allowed. If they realized friendships were joining, they would try to separate the people as much as possible. And no outward socializing besides side by side. So no small talk. Like, you're not in the fiber lab like
Oh, well,
laughing
never
it up.
mind then. Okay.
You're doing a mission.
Huh.
Yeah,
Mission
everything is
always
mission
comes
based.
first.
Okay. Yeah, I'm out.
They created perfect system through total control. No gender, no sexuality, no human identity, and it was all just disguised as spiritual evolution.
Huh.
Snuck it right in there.
Seems how they always do.
Yeah.
Things get worse, should I say? But things start to ramp up at this point. Things within the cult personally start to take on a little bit different of a shade. At this point, it's around 1983. T starts to get sick.
Who?
So T.
Oh.
Bonnie.
There we go.
Peep.
Yeah, you said T.
Bo. No, because they're T and Doe. Also Bo and Peep.
Yep.
Also the two. Also the witnesses.
Just one nickname.
Yeah.
That's all I need.
Nope.
You'd
it's
be
not
in
a school.
trouble, Josh.
I'd be in so much trouble.
You're questioning
Never.
us? So like I
Trying to
said,
get it
things are
right.
changing in the cult. We go forward. they basically run into like the ultimate test of all their faiths. In 1985, Bonnie
what?
dies.
Oh,
Cancer.
okay.
She clearly went on the space
So,
ship.
so cancer takes their body. Well, I'll go into the details of what actually happens in the
Oh,
next
okay.
episode. But this is the point where like the cult changes. This is the definitive turning point. Marshall Applewhite is now going to be running this cult by himself. And at this point, all these people that are in this group have already become like prisoners of their own salvation. They are in, they're gung ho. This is their way to the next level.
Sounds like Kanye. And then
Oh.
Kanye after his mom died.
Mm. Yeah, very
It does.
sad.
The important part still at this point in 1983 to 1985, there is no talk of death. You do not have to die to get to the next level.
So
Still,
were they saying that Bonnie went and ascended?
that's where we're gonna pick up.
I'm thinking
We're gonna
so,
pick up in
Josh.
next episode because that's where we have to have a whole philosophy change of the cult,
Yeah.
and it's all on Applewhite's shoulders now
I mean,
to
we
spin
didn't,
this
but we did.
and make this work. He does. He has to. Otherwise, what are you gonna do, guys? Everyone's gonna go home. And there's no more
As you
fiber
No more
labs.
should.
fiber
As
labs.
you-
Everybody's got to go to their respected fiber labs.
Yeah, no, I like my fiber lab. It was
Huh.
special. But all right, so that's where we'll pick up on the next episode in part 3. For now, if you finish this episode and if you liked it or you have any more questions about this period in Heaven's Gate, I'm probably able to answer you. I've done enough
He can. We can't.
I can't
research.
answer.
Josh is
Leave
still
Um,
learning their names.
So feel free, and if I can't answer it, I'd love to try to find out.
And if any of that sounded like a situation you are living in, please get out immediately.
Yes. I
Please ask
should
to
have.
be on the exploratory team to check the mail and just never come back.
So, if you guys haven't subscribed yet,
Do it.
what are you doing? Subscribe. Click, click, click. Notification button. If you're listening, make sure you like and follow. And why don't you tell someone else about the podcast, Not the Cult? Podcast good,
Correct.
cult bad. All right. Till the next time, stay curious, stay strange.
Still staying free.
Peace.
Thank you for listening. If you would like to join us as a guest, suggest a topic, or have a story you want us to share, we'd love to hear from you. Email us at ssospodcast@gmail.com. For more behind-the-scenes updates and exclusive insights about SSOS, make sure to follow us on social media. And don't miss out on the fun. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Again, thank you for listening to the Secret Society of Strangers podcast. This show is an independent production, researched and crafted by our passionate team. But we couldn't do it without all of you. We truly appreciate your support. Embrace the unknown, for not all secrets are meant to be kept. Farewell, strangers.